So in this video, I am going to be walking us through how to build an automation that takes script and translates it into different languages and makes voiceover in different languages and uses conditional statements to or logic to store them inside different folders like this. At the end, the voiceover and the script for Spanish goes into the Spanish folder. The Romanian script and the Romanian voiceover goes into the Romanian folder, and the Portuguese script and the Portuguese voiceover goes into the Portuguese folder, and so on. With a little bit of backstory on this automation, it's part of a bigger automation for a YouTube channel for one of my clients who is based in Brazil and speaks Portuguese. So he wants different YouTube channels later that can have different dynamic content based on scripts he provides, translates them into different languages. So let's get into it. So the first module here is Google Forms, and the Google Forms I'm using. You can always copy the ID of your form from here. This here is the ID of your Google form, and you can always paste it in here, search for it, and it will ask you to paste in the name also. And the name of my form is new form, right? I'm going to save that. So I'm going to paste in some script, and when I paste in the script, I want to take this header off, copy it, and paste it in here. So the reason for the script title is for naming conventions of each voiceover and script. So if I click on submit here, I can get it here, right? So I can run this module just to show you. So we can see that we have the script title here, and we also have the value for the long script here. So now we're gonna connect this and the text parser. So the text parser goes into the text I have in here and replaces any quotation marks with this. So this forward slash is in front of the quotation mark here just basically escapes any quotation mark. The reason is because our API here will not allow any quotation mark in it or any space in between our script, or else it will throw an error. So I'll connect this to the router, and then from the router I'll connect to the iterator. So the iterator now I populated this with the languages my client needs. EN is for English, IT is for Italian, this is ES is for Espanol. It's here, the documentation is here. So if you come here, you can see for Google, because I'm using Google Translate API, and for colleague is ACH. You can see for let's look for Espanol now, or Spanish. I'm just use Spanish. So you can see for Spanish is ES, right? Let's look for Italian. Italian, you can see Italian is IT, right? So that's the same thing we have in here. So we have ES, EFR. So Romanian also. So we have all those languages, right? I'm going to connect this. I'm going to connect my script translator HTTP module. So this is an HTTP module, right? And I'm going to set it to post, right? I'm going to make a post request to this endpoint right here, and I'm going to set my header as the content type of my header to application JSON. I'm going to set my query string to, so you input your key here. The key here is the key you get from your Google Developer Console, and you can get this key from your Google Developer Console. I will make a video especially for that on how to get your key from your Google Developer Console for make.com, or I'll link another video in this description on how to generate a key, a Google Developer Console key, right? And okay, we have the body type is raw, right? And the content type is JSON. You can have HTML content type. You can have plain text if you want to. If you are just, well, because I'm going to be rendering things dynamically and I'm going to be looping over this iterator. So I have this, and this is the body. You can see it here. API references. You can always see the body, right? Translate. Let's see. Right, you can see the endpoint here. You can see this is part of the body. So you can read, you can check out this documentation to understand more about how to set up your request body, and I will save that. So here I have another module, and the reason why I have two HTTP modules separately for translation is because I'm also trying to translate the title separately. So this works for the script translation, this works for the title translation. So it's precisely the same thing as the script translation, but in here where I have my query, all right, that's the text content or the content I want to translate. I do have the answer, the script, and I'm getting that from here. I'm getting that from here, right? So here, text answer, and I have an array of my answers, and I have my value here, right? So I can let me basically delete that and show you. So I can click on this, and I have that. So here, the target here is my iterator, whatever is coming from my iterator, right? So, and the source here is the initial language I'm trying to translate from. So I'm trying to translate from Portuguese because my client is Portuguese. If you are an English speaker and your source is going to be English, you can have EN here instead of Portuguese. So the format is text definitely. So I will save that and link this to my router. And when I link this to my router, I'll link this to my ElevenLabs. My ElevenLabs module configuration, I already have it connected to my ElevenLabs account. You can watch a video on how to connect to ElevenLabs. Then I choose a voice. The voice my client wants is Dan Dan. So there are many voices actually. Can you see there's Aria, there's Sarah, there's Laura. So there are many voices you can choose from. The model I'm using is V2. So the text I want to turn into speech because this is a text to speech model, right? The text I want to convert to speech is definitely the text I'm generating from my script, right? So I have that in here and I'm going to save that. So then I'm going to connect this to the file name. So this is going to be a switch to, so it's a set variable. Let me zoom in so that you can see better. So this is a set variable. So I have a switch here. Now switch and if else are conditional statements. So switch statements work like if else statements. Okay, so here's an analogy for what switch statements and if else statements are. So definitely you probably know what if else statements are. So if we have a variable named today, right, we can always get the day, right? From here, we're just getting the day. And here we can see if it is 0, it will be Sunday. If it is 1, it is Monday. If it is 6, it is Saturday. So if day equals 1, so we can say start of the week, or today is Monday, right? So else if day equals is 5, then weekend is near, right? You can do something like that. And you can even say if day equals 0, or log out something like today is Monday, and if it is 5, then you can say today is Friday. So the same thing you can do with switch statements, right? And this is switch and cases are good for when you have maybe more than three, more than four, more than five conditional statements. Instead of writing if and else for everything, or else if, else if for all the conditions, you can just have a switch and case statement. So we put in the condition here. So we want to check for day, right? So day can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3. So can see here, so case, you can see case one, then the what you want to run after the condition. Then you can see for day five. So the same thing, but just works for when you have more values, and that is what we're using here in the switch here. So I can use an if else, right? But instead of using an if else, I'm using a switch. So let me just control A, control X. So here is how you do it here. That's slash switch. So can you see? You can see switch tells you that you should have your value and you should have your expressions, right? For you can have your cases in there, and I'm going to be using, let's say, the value I'm getting from my iterator. So if I have this, I want to check for the symbol of the language. Then I want it to do this. If it is Spanish, I want it to do this. If it is Italian, I want it to do this. So the reason why I'm doing this is I want to use it for folder assignment. So I'm going to paste this back in. So what it just says is switch when the value coming in from the iterator, which could be English, it could be uh, it could be Spanish. So if it is en, the value is en, then you should set this variable to English. If the value is Espanol, you should set it to Spanish, then Romanian to JA, RO to Romanian, then JA to Japanese, Korean, and the likes. So I'm going to save this. And so for the folder ID, what I did was I came in here, already have my folders, right? I copied the folder IDs manually, right? I copied them, right? Copied them in here. So you can copy your folder ID in here and copy them manually. The one for Portuguese also, I copied it manually. And while I copied those, I imputed them the same way. So if the value is English, for English, I wanted to set the folder ID to this. For Spanish, I wanted to set this folder ID to this. For Romanian, I wanted to send the folder ID to this. So that's how this works. So then, so when I click on that, I already have it connected, right? And I am going to enter my folder ID, right? I'm just going to select from the list and my drive, my folder location, right? My new folder location is going to be manually, so that's why I'm mapping it, right? And it's going to be whatever is being produced by my set variable for folder ID, right? So, and that's why it is dynamic, right? So it can be for Spanish, it can be for English, depending on whatever language is, is being translated, right? If it is Romanian, it changes the folder ID to what's Romanian. So get that. And for the folder name now, for the file name now, I want to name the file. Now I want to name the file with the first file name I have in here, right? So the script title we put in here, which we got here, the script title we got here and we translated is going into one of the folders. It's going to be used as the name of the file, so that if my client wants to make a script, maybe for a YouTube video on diabetes, right? The name diabetes is going to be translated into whatever language and it's going to be used in here. That's it. So, but this is going to be like English or or Spanish. I'm going to show you what it will be at the end. Save this. I'm going to connect this to get a link. I'm going to connect this to get a link. So this is a module to get the link of the file, and you can see I'm passing in the file ID of the previous file. So I'm going to be connecting this. So this is going to run for, this is for the voiceover, right? The lane for the voiceover. This second one is for the script, right? So the same thing we did here, just duplicating it. So we want to set the file name and the folder ID. So the same conditional statement for the folder ID, the same conditional statement for this file name. So, and we have that is saved in a Google Docs, right? Saved in a Google Docs, which is also saved in a what? In a folder. So let me save that. And coming here, I only have English to Japanese, right? But my client's Portuguese script also needs to be saved, and also a voiceover in Portuguese made. So for that, I can do this, connect it here, and also can connect this. So, and also connect this. So the way this works now is ElevenLabs gets the Portuguese text directly from the text parser and makes a voiceover and saves it in a folder, in a specified folder, which is the folder for Portuguese. You can see the naming convention, and you can see it here also. I have can I see? So it goes into the Portuguese folder. You can see that here. So the content here is the same. The content coming directly from the the Google form, and you can see here the naming is the title of the script that was inputted into the Google Forms. So I'm going to save that. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fill up my form, and I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it in here, and I'm going to submit. So now in my make scenario, I can now run everything. So let's run it and see what we have. So the automation is already done. We have the automation done already, and we want to check through. Now the answers here, we have the answer from the Google Forms. You can see the title. You can see the one for the video script in here. Then now go to the text parser, and you can see already removed anything like quotation marks and already replaced them probably. So the iterator, you can see it loops over for different languages, right? So for the first one, English, with learn Espanol, then um, the translator for the script. This is the translator for the script. So we have this. You can see this is the input, right? Let's look at the first output. So for the first operation, right, this is the input, yes. So, and this is the output. Let's check out the output. So this is the translation for the output. You can see. So this is from Portuguese to English. So we can see it here. It has 11 common medicines that are ruining your memories without you realizing. So you can come to the second operation. Let's just check it out so that we can see some of the results we got. And you can see it is for, let me see the language. So let's check out the language. The language here should be under input. So it should be, so the language here is Italian. You can see the language here is Italian. And this is the output. We have it to the night one, which we have here. So the night one, as we know, is Japanese. So, and that is the translation. So we also translated the titles. So we also have the translation for English. So for the title, and we have this. We have the translation here, right, for English. So going on to the ElevenLabs, right, you can see that for every operation, it inputs a different text, right, a different input. You can see the first one here is English, next one here is Japanese, and we can have we can see for the names here, you can see it's returning Japanese. For this, it's returning the first one should return English. Can you see? So it's setting this to English. Then for this, for the title, it does the same. And we can see for English, it is returning the ID for the English folder. You can see that. And for for the Google Drive, right? Saving it. So the same thing for the set variable here. Also, it will get the language. So it's returning English for the first one. It should return Japanese for the last one, right? So then we can see this is a script that has been stored in a Google Docs for every operation. So we can see that that's the content. And the same also goes for this also. You can see that. And this is the ElevenLabs output. So this is the binary data. Right? This is the binary data. And let's check out how this worked in our folders. And we can see this here. This is our Google Drive. Let's check it out. This is Spanish, right? You see, for Spanish, we have the script in Spanish, right? We have the script in Spanish here, and we also have the voiceover. Let's listen to the voiceover.
11 medicamentos comunes que arruinan tu memoria, sin que te des cuenta. ¿Alguna vez has olvidado dónde dejaste las llaves? ¿Te ha costado recordar un nombre o una cita importante? Y si te dijera que no es solo el envejecimiento.
So we can see that works fine for Spanish. Let's check other languages out. And we have Romanian. Romanian automatically saves in the Romanian folder, and clicking on that, we have
11 medicamente comune care îți ruin memoria fără să-ți dai seama.
can you hear that?
Ai uitat vreodată? S-a crezut că pierderea memoriei
So,
este
and we also have the Romanian script here for the video. Right, this is just a very short one. It can be used for YouTube shorts and even things like that. And you can also, depending on the complexity or the length of your script, you can decide to use it for YouTube long videos. So let's check for Korean. We have
자신도 모르게 기억력을 망치는 흔한 약 11가지 열쇠를 마지막 부분에 여겨져 왔습니다. 혈액순환, 염증 과정에
okay, so that's beautiful. And we also have the Korean script in here. So we have the Korean script in there. And let me check for Japanese. So we can listen to that.
気づかないうちに記憶力を低下させている11の一般的な要件を
See that
ど
works
こに
well?
置いたか忘れてしまう。
So that was a success. And you can see that the automation ran through. So the same thing for French, the same thing for other folders also. So you can see it ran well. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.